Hello, we are now live. Thank you for joining us. We're going to have people jumping in. We just went live, so we'll give people a couple of minutes to join us. I'm watching the counter. And so, and I was just joking actually with our esteemed panel here today, which I'll introduce in just a moment, that I was so excited when we scheduled this last year that, oh my gosh, April 18th, we're the day after tax season, and then lo and behold, e-file crashes yesterday, and the IRS in their infinite wisdom says, hey, take another day. Although I will say that the financial professionals I talked to yesterday, in fact, one in particular, he said, hey, 5 o'clock, we're having a party. We're done. If anybody hasn't filed, we'll do them tomorrow, but we're celebrating. We're done with tax season. So anyways, I don't know where you're at. Hopefully things have gone well for you during this tax season, and everyone got their extensions in time if they needed to. And just make sure to remind them about June or July. Don't wait until the end to use up all that time. So. Anyway, so we're very happy to have you here for our April desktop time, and we're also very fortunate to have with us Joanne DelBalso, who most of you I'm sure know very well, and introduce her in just a moment, and also Jeffrey, and I didn't ask you how to pronounce your last name, Bolano?
Yeah, you got it.
Bingo.
Okay. I'm a phonetics guy, so phonics guy. So anyways, we're very happy to have Jeffrey here today from Hubdoc as well. He's going to do a demo for us and give us more information about how it integrates with different products and how to use it. So without any further ado, I am going to read our introduction, and this is also from our website, but just give an introduction to both of them. So for Joanne, she's over the past 10 years used her quirky and fun sense of humor coupled with her natural talent for teaching and has developed a successful and growing accounting practice. Joanne learned early on the importance of establishing her brand locally as well as online. She taught herself how to sell her services locally by networking and also jumped online to dive into the world of social media to promote her practice and her personal brand. Joanne has hundreds of hours of webinars, video courses, books, blogs, and just good old trial and error under her belt while building her online brand. And Jeffrey is the Senior Product Manager at Hubdoc, Product Marketing Manager. Cloud accounting application automates the collection of financial documents. He has over 4 years experience in product marketing for B2B SaaS. For those of you who don't know, software as a service businesses. Prior to his experience as a product marketer, he worked for Apple as an SMB account manager. To master his role at Hubdoc, he took on their bookkeeping duties for 6 months and managed their cloud bookkeeping tech stack, leveraging tools such as Xero, Expensify, and Bill.com. And Qbox after today. So, no, I'm teasing. All kidding aside. So thank you very much to both of you for joining us here today. Thank you so far for everyone that's logged in and has been able to join us. I kind of expected maybe it wouldn't have a super high attendance today, but we'll make sure to send everyone the link for the recording as well. But with that, I'm going to turn the floor over to Joanne, and she's going to share with us about her social expertise, social media expertise, social expertise too.
Social expertise. I don't know about that. Thank you, Chris. Yeah, thank you for having me today. So what I wanted to talk about today, particularly to the accountants, that's mainly the person that I actually work with and strategize with when it comes to my business. And one of the things that they always struggle with is social media, because I think for the most part, accountants are normally introverted, and being able to put themselves out on social media is a big leap for a lot of accountants. So what I wanted to do today, what I thought I could do in this 20, 25 minutes or whatever, is kind of cover some of the basics that I think they can start working on now and just kind of getting their feet wet and starting to actually put together what their own social media strategy should be. Every single business will have a slightly different social media strategy. And it all comes down to one major thing, and I think it's one of the most important things when it comes to accountants, and that is knowing who your customer is and actually knowing who you need to sell yourself to. If you don't know who your ideal customer is, it will become almost impossible for you to successfully market yourself on social media. For example, When I first started my own accounting practice, and I'm sure many of the people that are in the chat can totally agree with me, comment or chat if you agree with me. You started your practice and you pretty much wanted to do anybody's books that you could because you needed the money, right? You just put your hand up and you said, yes, I'll work with you, and you were not picky or choosy of who you worked with. I learned early on that was one of the biggest mistakes I made, because I took on clients that weren't necessarily my ideal clients. They weren't ones that I could serve the best. And many of those ended up being, we ended up separating our relationships. If you know who your customer is and successfully market yourself to them, and what I'm talking about when I say know your customer, try to come up with, and this could just be even online, try to come up with a niche that you want to sell to. So for example, even though you may do books and accounting records and taxes for all different kinds of clients, online, attempt to market yourself to a specific niche. That is going to help you get more bang for your buck when it comes to your marketing strategy, dollars and / time that you invest in it. So if you are wanting to market to lawyers, then that's who you need to focus your marketing strategies on. That's where you need to find out where those lawyers hang out, and you need to actually start engaging with them on those social platforms. Okay, if your ideal audience is mommy bloggers, then you need to go where the mommy bloggers hang out. So that's just, number one is understanding who your customer is, because that's going to determine which social platforms you should be focusing on. The second thing that I think is also very, very important, and I'm moving this up to number 2 because of the fact that when I put down my list, I saw all these lists and I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, probably 1 or 2 has to be your website or some way to be able to track your analytics so you can actually see how successful your social media strategies are. Actually see if you're getting clicks from Facebook, from Twitter, from LinkedIn, actually being able to review these analytics to seeing how people are actually finding you. I can't tell you how many clients that I've met with, and one of the first things we do, one of the first questions I ask is, do you have Google Analytics connected to your website? Let's get in there and let's see what they say. Let's see if people are finding you. If people are finding you inside your Google Analytics, if you can actually do the research and you can actually go down and see exactly what they're typing in on Google to find you. If they're typing in, for example, ABC accounting to be able to find you, you're not necessarily doing the best that you can do with search engine optimization. All right. They're only finding you if they know what your name is. All right. You want people to find you for what you offer and what you do, regardless as to what the name of the company is. So make sure, if you guys have websites, if you did it yourself, do some Googling, figure out how to connect Google Analytics to your website. If you have a webmaster, ask them if they've connected it to your Google Analytics account, and find out how you can actually log in and be able to understand those analytics. Because if you can't see the results, you're not going to be able to make any adjustments down the road with your social media strategy. So after that website's all set up, the next thing you guys want to do is you want to set some social media goals. All right. You want to be able to say, what are my goals for, even if you just do short-term goals, what are my goals for this month? Do I want to work on the Facebook business page? Do I want to get more page likes? Do I want to get more shares? Do I want to get more engagement? And create that marketing strategy that's going to be able to get those results. It could be a matter of doing some Facebook ads. It could be a matter of tweaking what you post on Facebook. It could be a matter of using more video, maybe going live on Facebook. There's a lot of different strategies you can use to be able to meet those goals. On Twitter, connecting with more people. Same thing with like LinkedIn. What kind of results do you want to get from LinkedIn? Write those goals down so that you have something to be able to attain to with that social media strategy. Now, The next two things are actually two things you can possibly do right now without even really being active on a platform. And one is listen and learn. So in other words, you find where your customer is, you listen to what they need from you, and you learn from it, and you take it in, you write it down. If somebody's asking a question, if you're like in a QuickBooks Q&A forum, whether it's on LinkedIn or whether it's in a Facebook group, and somebody asks a question, if you can answer that question, then make sure you can do a couple things. You can do a quick blog post and put it up with the answer, and then share that blog post in the group and say, here's your answer. Maybe you could do a quick video and upload it to your Facebook page and share it. Listen and learn and find out what your audience needs from you and how you can best serve them. Okay, that's something that you can do without even really being that active on a platform. The next thing you can also do, and I like to call it recon, and it's basically recon on your competition. So if you consider other local, maybe you're big locally in your area and there's a ton of other accountants, there's a ton of other tax people in your area, look to their social media and see what they're doing. What platforms are they on? What type of stuff are they sharing? Are they getting engagement from it? You know, like do your research ahead of time. You don't even really have to be tweeting or posting on Facebook that much at all to be able to gather that information, because you want to be able to learn from what the people that are already doing it. You want to learn from them as to what's working and what's not working. And if something is working, what you want to do is you want to take it up a notch and put your own twist to it and make it your own and just move forward from that when you're ready to actually be active on that platform. The next thing I think is also extremely, extremely important when it comes to social media is you don't want to talk at people. You want to talk to them. Right, Jeff? Jeff's shaking his head. You want to have a conversation. That's what social media, the beginning of social media, it's so you got to be social. Think of it as a dinner party. Think of it as a night out. Conversations. If somebody makes a comment on your post on Facebook, don't just go back and like give it a thumb up. Reply back to them. Try to keep the conversation moving, because in the world of Facebook algorithm, the engagement is like money. Engagement tells Facebook that maybe it should show you to more people. So the more people are commenting, the more there's replies back, the more people are thumbs upping. That is all counted in the whole Facebook algorithm. So make sure you're actually having conversations with people and that you're not just putting stuff out there. I like to kind of call it, try not to broadcast, I think is the only better term. Like, try not to just spit out posts without doing a post. And like, if you're going to share a blog post, say Hubdoc posted something out and they had some great tips or something like that that you wanted to share. Instead of just sharing the blog post on your Facebook page, with the copy, the description that you share that post with, tell your audience why they should read it. That lets them know that you've actually read it. You've basically curated it, so you've approved it for that you are actually going to post it and give it to them, and not waste their time just looking through stuff that it's just being blasted out there. So actually saying, hey, I read this post. This is why I totally agree with it. This is why I use Hubdoc. They got some new things coming up. They just, had some, whatever it is, put that out there and really tell your audience why they should click on that link. Actually doing that in your own words is actually going to get your audience to engage more on your content. Okay. Think of it, always keep in mind when you go to post something, first thing you should ask yourself is this worthy of me posting it? Is it bringing value to the people who have followed me? Because when it comes to an accountant and you want to become a trusted advisor so that people will come back to you time and time again, that people will refer you, they'll either become your client or they'll start referring people to you. Are you bringing value to their social media feed? Because we get so much stuff. We get inundated with everything, so much stuff that's on Facebook now. We get inundated with Facebook group posts and with 3-minute or 5-minute videos of cooking and happy kittens and puppies, and there's so much stuff on Facebook that you're in competition with. You want to make sure that when you're sharing something to the people who are following your page, that it's good content and there's a reason why you're sharing it, okay? Social profiles is also extremely important to take some time right now, especially if you haven't, you're just getting ready to get going in social media. You want to take all your social profiles and make sure your branding is as consistent as possible. So using the same avatars, site covers, your profile, you want to make sure that your profile, that's the written copy, is consistent across all the platforms. Make sure you have links. Your links are working to your website or wherever you want it to go. You can do a lot of tweaking with that kind of stuff nowadays with the mobile. Here's a little tip for you guys, especially with Instagram and with Twitter. You can actually go in on your phone, especially if you have iPhones, and actually custom make your little profile and using like emojis and stuff, and actually set up nice spacing, save it in like a note, and then upload that revised profile right inside of the mobile app for Twitter and Instagram. So that's a great way to kind of boost and make your profile a little more visual, is by adding those emoticons that you see all over the place. It's easy. It's hard to do it right in the platform at times, especially with Instagram, with the spacing. So just put it in notes and then you'll have it, and then you can just upload it whenever you want to tweak it or change it. The other thing I want to kind of finish off with talking about with all this social media stuff is the importance of video in your social media strategy. You don't have to be on video 24/7 by all means, but you should take the opportunity to start becoming a little bit more comfortable in front of the camera. One of the things I find that becomes the most successful with accounting practices is humanizing the brand just a little bit and putting a face to the name of the business so that people can immediately trust you and immediately say, there's Jeff. I know what he looks like now. I recognize him from his profile picture, and now we actually have a human connection because he's on video and he's right in front of you guys right now, right? So you want to make sure you humanize your brand and do video, whether it's just record a video, upload it into Facebook. You can put video on Twitter. You can go live on Twitter if you want to using Periscope. You can have video up on Instagram, YouTube. I'm not even going to get into YouTube because I'm actually a YouTuber, so I absolutely love YouTube. It's if you are not taking advantage of the YouTube platform for its search engine optimization alone, you are missing out. You are missing out on a lot of search engine juice inside of YouTube. But taking that opportunity to actually put yourself in front of a camera, telling people how passionate you are about what you do, how you do it, and then the most important is why you do what you do. Because all accountants pretty much do the same thing, let's face it, right? We all keep track of financials for clients. We might do it different ways, as far as we might use QuickBooks Online, we might use Xero, we might just do reviews. You know, there's different ways we offer our services, but every single one of us has our why, which is like the story, like why are you in business for yourself? Why are you working for small businesses? Why do you enjoy doing it? What is your, is this your passion? And actually telling your story will get people to connect with you even more because they may have that similar story, especially if you're trying to hit that ideal audience of yours. You want people to connect with you because of the fact that they trust in you and they get your story and they get you. One of the final things I just kind of want to touch on when it comes to coming up with what to share on social media, because I know that's a popular question. It's like, I have no idea what to share. I don't know what to tweet. I don't know what to put on Facebook. I don't have time to make my own content, that kind of things. One of the best suggestions that I can suggest is to go out on your social media and follow as many of the vendors and stuff that you currently work with. Okay, so if you use QuickBooks products, follow as many of the QuickBooks, the Intuit social profiles, and the Intuit blogs. If you use Xero, do the same thing with Xero. If you use Qbox, you want to follow what's going on with Qbox because you can share their content. Hubdoc, another one. You want to make sure that you are working on social media with your vendors. I know there's a ton of times where I'm finding something out there, or I'm tweeting or Facebook posting about Hubdoc, or I have a picture of me with a group of the people from when I was in Manchester, and I tagged Hubdoc in there, and I'm sharing their content out there because they've already created it. They've already done the work for you. So, and it's great content. So sharing it and giving them credit for it, they will probably share and like it. And that's going to get you in front of a whole nother audience. And especially if it's an audience of your customer that is considering Hubdoc, if they know that you're an accountant that uses Hubdoc or Qbox or whatever the vendor is, then they might actually reach out to you and actually want to work with you. So with that said, I am going to hand it over.
I've actually been here the whole time listening intently. And actually, I really like all of your suggestions. I was going to say some of your suggestions. I liked all of them. I think, it's interesting. I've always had that philosophy that when you work in a business that isn't necessarily personal, that touch of just personalizing it, putting your face to the business, because like you said, at the end of the day, I wanted to say for accountants, we all kind of do similar things, but if you make a connection personally, that's huge. That really starts to differentiate you from the rest of the pack. So
yeah, and you really can connect with somebody. It's funny, even if you don't do like the live videos. I had just a quick story. Is I put up a YouTube video. Yeah, I don't do QuickBooks videos anymore on YouTube, but I put one up eons ago. It was like how to set up credit cards in QuickBooks. It ended up getting quite a few views because of the long tail keyword search, whatever. Mm-hmm. Some gentleman called me from Florida. He sold boar's head bologna, boar's head meats, and he honestly, Chris, he talked to me like we were long lost friends, and I was like, how do I know you? And he's like, oh, I watched your video. I got a question. Can you help me? And, literally from just me answering a quick 5-minute phone call, questions with him, I converted him to a QuickBooks Desktop full-on training client. And I trained him and his bookkeeper remotely for it. And that was just from him, felt that he really knew me just because he watched a YouTube video. It's so simple. It's so simple that you almost don't even think to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, but I totally agree with you. It definitely works, though. It just, because again, it can be, especially now with the whole internet thing, and it can become very impersonal very quickly. Mm-hmm. But just to have that additional amount where, it sounds silly, but you did have a relationship because he saw your video. And he did.
He knew me, and I was like, I don't know you, but okay.
Yeah. Well, it's like, so now it's like you go to QB Connect, you're a celebrity. Everybody knows Joanne. So, sorry, Jeffrey. I think they probably know you too, but.
They will know Jeffrey after today.
Yeah, that's right. We're putting this everywhere. So anyways, thank you very much, Joanne. That was all very good advice. And I think, too, a lot of us, I've struggled with this, grappling with, which best ways to represent your company, because there's so many options, too, now. And I like what you mentioned about YouTube being kind of a centerpiece.
Yeah.
Because you have the LinkedIns and the Instagrams and the Facebooks and the Twitters, and so how do you kind of pull it together so you're not running autonomously with 4 different messages? And so, yeah, okay. Well, thank you very much again, Joanne, for your time today, and also the awesome advice on socially marketing your company. Socially, did I say that right?
Be socially awesome.
Socially awesome. I like it. Where's your mug?
Oh, my mug's at home.
Okay.
I just have the plain mug today.
Okay. Thanks again. So, Jeffrey, with that, we'll turn the floor over to you so you can go ahead and tell us more about Hubdoc and, again, how it integrates with other platforms.
Awesome. Thanks, Chris. And thanks, Joanne. That was really great. So I'm going to just turn off my camera real quick. I'm going to share my screen. And I'm going to start with a quick presentation before I go into the Hubdoc demonstration. I think there might be some value in level setting with the audience and just talk about what Hubdoc does and a little bit about the value, and then diving in a little bit deeper to show how it works in practice. So one of Hubdoc's key value proposition is that it helps accountants and bookkeepers stop chasing financial documents like bank statements, bills, and receipts. And the reason why that's important is after talking to thousands of practices within North America, Australia, the United Kingdom, we've found that accountants and bookkeepers spend up to 30% of their time doing these manual administrative tasks, things like chasing financial documents, doing manual data entry, things that are essential to the monthly bookkeeping workflow, and ultimately a means to an end, giving their clients access to high-quality, real-time financial data. If I would poll the audience today and ask how many people still deal with paper, how many people still receive bills, receipts, invoices, and statements by email, or use cloud storage, or any disparate tools to collect financial documents, it's an inevitability that at the end of the month, there's probably going to be, 1 or 2 things that are missing. And once you have those missing documents, you need to go back to your client. There's this back and forth on a monthly basis. This wasted time results in lost revenue opportunities, potentially poor client interactions, because instead of having high-value conversations about their financials, it's more so asking them for financial documentation so that you can get to that eventual outcome. And ultimately, time wasted. So Hubdoc solves that pain. It is a central digital filing cabinet for all of your clients' financial documentation. It automates the document collection and data entry process. Hubdoc allows your clients to upload paper, bills, receipts, and invoices using a multitude of applications, whether that's our free application available in the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. So you would imagine your client goes to a restaurant and incurs a receipt, snaps a picture of that receipt using their mobile device. That documentation will then show up into Hubdoc directly, and then Hubdoc will extract the key data. And then Hubdoc's unique value proposition, or like our real differentiator, is our ability to automatically fetch documentation from over 700 financial institutions, utilities, telecom providers, and online vendors. So completely eliminating the need for your clients to send you documentation in the first place, because Hubdoc is working in the background, automatically getting everything you need, things like the bank statement, bills, receipts, invoices. Once documents are in Hubdoc, whether it was uploaded using a mobile device, email, desktop, or Hubdoc automatically fetched the documentation, the key data is extracted, so the vendor name, the date, and the total amount. And with integrations into technologies like QuickBooks Online, Xero, Bill.com, you can publish that source documentation to those third-party integrations as transactions with the source document attached, so that you can achieve one-click payment processing, bank reconciliation, and audit proofing. And something that's really great, and something that we'd like to offer the audience here today, Hubdoc partners with accountants and bookkeepers, and because of that, we offer accountants and bookkeepers access to a free VIP account for their practice. That VIP account can be used to manage your own documentation so that you can achieve automated bookkeeping, It can be used as a tool to demo to your clients, or just generally to test it out. And if you see value and if you see a fit, then we would encourage you to bring on your clients. So enough with the presentation. I'm going to jump right into the demo. So I'm going to share my screen. So this is the Hubdoc portal. All you have to do as an accountant or bookkeeper is put in your username and password. The first thing you'll notice is that you have a client dashboard. This dashboard gives you a list view of all of the clients you have connected to Hubdoc, the amount of documents that have been uploaded by your clients and or automatically fetched by Hubdoc, status of an integration and or one of the connections that automatically fetches documentation. And if you're an accounting bookkeeping practice with multiple staff members, you could see which one of your staff members have access to an account, and you could quickly and easily add access or revoke it directly from this dashboard. Once you want to review documentation within one of your client accounts, it's as simple as clicking on that client. In this context, I'm going to access Page Turner Bookshop. And then this is the environment that all of your individual clients have access to. So you'll notice on the left-hand side, I mentioned that Hubdoc is kind of like a digital filing cabinet for all of your clients' financial documentation. So here's your folder structure, and I'm going to talk about how Hubdoc also helps you automate the documentation, organization, and sorting stage of the workflow. In the center here, you have your document stream. So a list view of all the documents that you have within your account, and then what stage in the process they're in, and I'll get into that in just a little bit. And then on the right-hand side, you have a preview of the source documentation. You'll notice that the key data has been extracted, so the vendor name, the date, and the total amount. And then on the right-hand side, you have the ability to customize that information, to publish the document over as an accurately coded transaction in Xero, QuickBooks Online, Bill.com, and third-party cloud storage platforms for redundant backup. And then here's another list view of all of our other integrations. And that kind of gives you like a high-level overview of the client portal. Now, I'd like to show you how to get documentation into Hubdoc, because this is really where the magic lies. So if you've ever struggled getting your client's financial documentation and or your clients give you read-only access to fetch bank statements or bills or receipts from online portals, Hubdoc eliminates that process for you. It actually automates it altogether. So setting up an automatic connection is as simple as clicking the Add Account button, selecting the connection from our list of 700 banks, utilities, companies, telecom providers, and online vendors. So in this context, I'm going to select Bank of America. Asking your client to put in their online credentials, so their username and password. And then it's as simple as clicking Add Account. Hubdoc will then establish the connection with Bank of America. And then you'll notice right now, they'll start to automatically fetch that documentation. So here, in this context, Hubdoc is pulling in every available bank statement from Bank of America. Not only that, Hubdoc has automatically created a Bank of America folder and sorted all of this documentation within that folder. So there's no need for you to organize any types of document. It's all done for you in the background. Even better, every time a new document becomes available in the Bank of America portal, Hubdoc will automatically fetch that document. So it'll be ready for you within your client's Hubdoc account so that you're off to the races when you're trying to reconcile their account at the end of the month. You'll also notice that the key data was extracted instantaneously. The vendor name, the date, the account, and the total amount. So that's an example of fetching financial documentation from a bank. Now I could show you how to fetch documentation from an online vendor that provides you with like a recurring bill or recurring invoice. So again, it's as simple as finding the account you'd like to connect to. So I'm going to use a telecom provider as this next example, so Comcast. Selecting Comcast, putting in my Comcast username and password. Hubdoc will establish the connection. And then once that connection is established, you'll notice that the folder was created and Hubdoc is starting to pull in all of the documents automatically. It goes back as far back as it can, extracts the key data, and then you'll notice here that all of the documents are sorted within that folder. The more connections you set up for your clients, the more automation you introduce into your workflow, which means the less your client has to do and the less you have to do to get to monthly bank reconciliations. The more automation you introduce into your workflow, the more time you save, the more clients you can take on, and the more revenue that you can generate. So a ton of benefits associated to using a tool like Hubdoc. So I showed you how to set up automated connections. Now I'd like to show you how quick and easy it is for your clients to upload paper documents using Hubdoc. So it's as simple as clicking the Add Receipt button here. You'll notice that there are 3 options that are available to you or your client. The first option is you can drag and drop documents from your desktop into this window, or you could browse for them here. The second option is that every Hubdoc account has a unique intake email. That unique intake email could be used to forward emails directly into your client's Hubdoc account. So if your client receives bills, invoices, receipts by email, they can set up automated email forwarding workflows, meaning that every time that document shows up in your client's inbox, it'll automatically forward itself into Hubdoc. Hubdoc will then have access to that document. It'll extract the key data. It'll automatically organize it. And again, little to no interaction with your client, and it introduces a tremendous amount of automation. And then last but not least, Hubdoc provides your clients and you with a free application on the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. It's as simple as snapping a picture of a receipt using your mobile device. In March, we introduced a brand new feature as it relates to data extraction. So historically, if you would upload a paper receipt, bill, or invoice into Hubdoc, it would take a few hours for the data to be extracted. Now, with the introduction of machine learning powered data extraction algorithms, Hubdoc can automatically extract data from uploaded documents within seconds. And I'll show you what that looks like. So here I have 3 documents on my desktop. And I know for a fact that these are 3 bills. I'm going to upload those documents into Hubdoc. And you'll see here a little clock saying that, oh, before I can even explain what the little clock meant, the key data was automatically extracted from these documents. So not only is data being extracted instantaneously from our automated connections, it's now being extracted instantaneously from uploaded documents. Today, machine learning powered data extraction works on a small percentage of uploaded documents, but over time, that percentage will grow. And every document that your client uploads into Hubdoc, the data will be extracted right away so that you can get to doing the monthly bank reconciliation as quickly as possible, getting your clients access to real-time financial data so that they can make informed business decisions. You're going to save a tremendous amount of time, which will allow you, again, to take on more clients or to go on vacation. I know tax time is finished. A lot of people are ready to take those vacations. And ultimately, to make more revenue while doing less work. And then last but not least, so many of our customers are QuickBooks Desktop customers, and they use Hubdoc as the digital filing cabinet for all of their financial documentation. But for the customers that are using tools like Xero and QuickBooks Online and Bill.com, we have direct integrations with those platforms. meaning that once a Hubdoc will automatically fetch a document or document will be uploaded, through our integrations, you can actually code and post those source documents into QuickBooks Online, Xero, and Bill.com for payment processing and or bank reconciliation. I'll do a quick example using QuickBooks Online. You see here that we have a Comcast bill. With Hubdoc's integration, Hubdoc will pull in all of the vendors that are available within QuickBooks Online. If Comcast is not an available vendor within QuickBooks Online, you can create the vendor directly from within Hubdoc, and that vendor will automatically create itself within QuickBooks Online as well. You can select the vendor. Hubdoc pulls in the account codes that are associated to your QuickBooks Online client account. So I have Comcast, it's a telephone expense. I can then publish that document over into QuickBooks Online. And then once the document is published into QuickBooks Online, it'll show up as an expense, as an accurately coded expense. So the bill, the vendor name, the account code that I attributed to it within Hubdoc, the total before sales tax, and then if you have sales tax, which is relevant for our Canadian, UK, and Australian customers, then that'll show up here as well. Once I click on one of the expenses that was created by Hubdoc, not only is it accurately coded with the key data extracted, there's now a source document, there's now a source document that's also attached to that transaction. And for those of you that are familiar with the bank feed, I'll take this one step further. QuickBooks Online is extremely intelligent in that it'll automatically match the transactions created by Hubdoc to the transactions on the bank feed so that you can reconcile transactions from the bank feed in one click. Simple as clicking the match button. That transaction is now reconciled with source document attached, and that transaction is also auto-approved. So ultimately, providing a tremendous amount of value to your clients. All in all, that's it. I'm gonna put up the free account slide for just a moment, and then I will pass back the mic to Chris.
Thank you. We did have some questions that came in as well, so I may hit you up. So the first question we had come in was, does Hubdoc work with sync.com?
It does not at the moment. That being said, we evaluate integrations on a continual basis. So right now, the integrations that we do have are all available on our website, and they're the ones that I showcased in the demonstration. Okay.
And then the second question, this is a longer one, for bank statements. If downloading older statements, parentheses, we're reconciling old bank statements months, can Hubdoc convert the bank statement into a QBO QuickBooks downloadable file? Can we map in old bank statements to data into QBS desktop and or QBO? Thanks.
So what some of our customers do is our connections, not only do we automatically fetch the actual PDF bank statement, but we also fetch CSV statements, line items of each and individual transactions. With those CSV statements, you can then upload them into QuickBooks Desktop and or QuickBooks Online.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah. And I'll just add that because I do use QBox and I do that all the time. I actually use, you can actually take the PDFs that come from QBox and you can use a converter like to QBO Pro, I believe it's called, that can actually create a QBO uploadable file. Or you can actually use the CSV. Sometimes uploading the CSV will work. Or if you wanted to, if you have desktop, you can actually use the CSV and copy and paste in the batch enter and get stuff done like in no time whatsoever.
Absolutely. Like really the pain that this is solving is your client doesn't need to get this for you because Hubdoc's doing it for you.
Okay. And I think, oh my gosh.
There's another question.
Yeah, there's more coming in now. So does, anonymous attendee, does Hubdoc work with QuickBooks Desktop in any way? And I think you guys just answered that actually.
Yeah. I think it doesn't automatically like go in
right.
to there, but I can honestly say that of all my clients that are on QBox, or I'm sorry, of all my clients that use Hubdoc, the majority of them are actually desktop clients. I actually use them to be able to make sure that I get access to PayPal, CSVs, Amazon. The one of the best feeds that you can get is the Amazon feed for your clients. That's the tip I can give you, because you can actually see, without logging into their Amazon account, every single purchase and what they purchase if you need to actually code them to the right account.
Okay, and actually, Liz was responding to your comment. She uses PDF to QBO.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, that's that. And then another question, does Hubdoc also download check images with the statements?
So it's not with the statements. We automatically fetch check images independently from most major banks in North America.
Okay. So it retrieves them, but they're not integrated like they would be on their online statement, but they're available so they can access them from the same.
Exactly.
Yeah, I guess the only thing that I would clarify is that if the bank has them available to the person, if the person can actually view the check stuff online, then you will get it when you download the statements.
That's a great clarification.
And it might only go back so many months.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to supplement that, if, for example, some bank accounts support like e-transfer images, Hubdoc will also automatically fetch the e-transfer images as well.
Okay, perfect. So I think that's the questions. So yeah, thank you very much for demonstrating that. I know that does save a lot of time, retrieving those documents from, because nowadays too, just the volume of online options there are to retrieve information for them to go out individually at all the separate resources. They have a resource like Hubdoc where they can pull them all together and integrate it with whatever financial platform they're using. That's very beneficial and time saving. And so I was going to ask too, if I sign up for Hubdoc, then can I go to Hawaii? Because you said you can take vacations, and so that's what I was thinking, or golf more, one of the two.
Yeah, it all depends on what your motivations and what your goals are, right? Like, I think just one thing to note, the thing that we're really excited about as an industry is that cloud accounting technology is unlocking a lot of opportunities for accounting and bookkeeping practices. It's an industry where like the cloud has come in a little bit later, but just the benefits are incredible. If your goal is to grow your practice, these technologies help you do that. If your goal is to spend less time on your practice, but supporting the same amount of clients and doing things like going to Hawaii, like these technologies also enable you to do that as well. So it's whatever your goals are, but I think at the end of the day, it's positive for everybody.
I think what I like, the couple things that I like the most about Hubdoc is its ability to be able to help you with what I like to call proactive accounting or reactive accounting. So in other words, if you have a client that you need to do all this back work and you need to like get a whole bunch of bank statements done, that's the reactive. You're doing everything after the fact, kind of like after the fact payroll. And what I've done with a lot of my clients is I've actually trained them to be proactive with their accounting so that when they're out on the town, they actually use the Hubdoc app and they stamp a picture of, their parking receipt or something, and they'll even tag it cash for me so that I know I have to put it to petty cash. I mean, it's really amazing how proactive it can actually make your accounting and get that work done just that much more faster when month end rolls around.
Yeah. I think what we've heard from accountants and bookkeepers is ultimately the client benefits because they have access to more real-time data. Mm-hmm. With that real-time data, they're able to make more contextual business decisions as opposed to making decisions based on financials that are 2 months late. Yeah. Through proactive accounting, they have access to like high-quality data when they need it to make the decisions that they need to be successful.
Yeah, my clients love the fact that they never have to send me another bank statement again.
Well, it's interesting in the world of QBox. I remember as recent as 6 or 7 years ago, you would hear the stories about the business owner in the shoebox full of receipts. And that's one thing the cloud's done away with is they don't get those blindsides at tax season saying, here, enter this, fix this, figure this out. So people are definitely more proactive in tracking what their expenses are, notifying their financial professional, including it at least in their whatever platform they're using. So them days are gone. Okay, well, thank you very much again. It was very informational, both what Joanne shared with us today about social media, and also thank you again, Jeffrey, for joining us and introducing us to Hubdoc. If you'd like any more information about the presentation today, we will be putting it on the website. We'll have a recorded version of today's webinar, and we'll also send a follow-up email with information for both Joanne and for Hubdoc/Jeffrey. If you'd like any other information about their companies, we'll also have them as past guests on the website, so you can access them there. You can obviously go directly to their respective websites. But thank you very much again for joining us today and taking time out of your guys' busy schedule. I know maybe not as busy today right after tax season, but
not at all today.
Not as busy as yesterday. But thank you very much anyways. We do appreciate your time, and thank you to everybody that joined us today. We're glad we caught you before you head off to Hawaii with all the money you're saving with Hubdoc. So we're glad you're able to join us today. And join us next month also. We're going to have some announcements next month as it relates to providing CPE credits and some things that make it also even more worthwhile for you to join. We're excited. We have very good speakers like we did today, and we always think there's a great wealth of information available to you, but we're also going to try to add some additional incentives that'll help you value your time. I don't know what else to say, that CPE credits. So please join us next month, and we'll look forward to seeing you also in the months to come. If you're interested, by the way, we do have our calendar up for the remainder of the year. So we have some, like today, some very exciting guest hosts and guest vendors. So we'll look forward to having you come back and join us another month. And if you survive tax season, if you're a financial professional, I sincerely hope you go out and enjoy yourself, relax, play golf, surf, do whatever you like to do. And we definitely look forward to seeing you again next month. So thank you very much again. Thank you, Joanne. Thank you, Jeffrey.
Thank you.
And have a wonderful rest of your day. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.